Right, I think we're live. Shutting the window, cupboard, kitty's gone. Sorry I'm a bit late signing on and starting up because I've got something to show you later, and I was answering a message on the Discord. Ever so rude. Is this coming through? Are we all here? Only 50 of us today. A nice tight little group. It's alive. So we coming through. Sound looks okay on my end and the light looks okay on my end. Tell me if it's okay. I need thumbs up, people. While you're figuring that out because of the delay, I'm glad that we're doing this because I've got something to say this evening, something exciting to say. I have a prediction about the future of 40k. Thumbs up, all great, good. So a snuggly amount. And I was away and I put the thing up asking people to ask me a question. And so I got loads of questions off the internet saying, evening, sound is fine, howdy, Sangrenegard, thumbs up, old crow, your end is lovely, winters. So I've got a prediction about the future of 40k, which I want to share with you, which is very interesting. But to get to this journey, let me fire up my YouTube. And I've set something up here, which is why I'm a bit late. So hi, is everyone okay? Dominic says howdy. I assume he's in Australia. Yeah, so I did, you remember that? I put that up. No, not that one. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. That one. Lovely picture that my wife took away at the Polish seaside, and I asked the community, oh, we've got a first donation of the day. Thank you so much, Killer Kriegsman. Have some Imperial time. Thank you so much for your donation. Love you. And I sent this saying like, no, not this one. It wasn't this one. This was thank you for saving my life, for changing my life. Talk amongst yourselves. What I did was community. I don't know why I closed it down. And yeah, she took a picture of me again while I was working. Did you manage to pick up any of the Emperor's Children torsos from Forge World? Yes, I've bought 50 Emperor's Children torsos today, and I got some shoulder pads already. Aaron, that's Soul Tarvitz. 10 of the Palatine blades, like 2 wounds, Artificer armor, it's fantastic stuff. I'm on it, mate. I'm on it. And I went to Den of Imagination while I was away in Poland, which was awesome. I mean, I've been to studios before. I went to our Welcome to Realms painting studio, and I've been to big places before, like the Mini Wargaming Bunker, obviously. And I walked into this place, and they're really nice. And by the way, everyone who worked at Den of Imagination, if any of you are watching this, thank you so much for treating this crazy man who turned up on a really hot day in the middle of Poland in the middle of the summertime and said, show me round. And he went, I might have digressed. We'll get back to this. Remind me of this in a minute, because that's the whole point of this conversation that we're having right now. And for anyone who also came in earlier thinking, I'm going to sit here and answer all the questions that you threw at me, then sorry to disappoint you. That's not what's in my head right now. I'm going to answer one question, sort of. But who is it? I was at Den of Imagination, and I've been into some studios before. Loyalist, Emperor's Children, Martin Champion. Yes, exactly. So it's found 3. You have the Loyalists of the Loyalist, the most loyal of the Loyalists. So the heresy kicks off and you're an ultramarine and you hear that Horus has turned traitor. You don't ever have to question your own sense of loyalty to the primarch. Horus has turned traitor. We've had the drop site massacre. You're against Horus. You're an Imperial Fist. You find out about that. You never have to question your own loyalty. But if you're one of the 4 founding ones, it is found 3 where the first act of betrayal by Horus was cleansing his own legions, was against his own sons, was patricide against the sons of Horus, Emperor's Children, World Eaters, and Death Guard. And up a third of the sons of Horus said no to him, said no to his plans, turned against their gene sire in a way that Guilliman's troops and Corax's troops and Ferrus Manus' troops never had to ask that question. Ferrus Manus had to ask them to themselves, but his troops certainly never had to ask that question of themselves, of their captain, of their very gene sire. And they said, no, we're not going with you. We're not going that way. They stayed loyal to the emperor. So the loyalist of all loyalists are the 4 loyal legions that died in the black and broken streets of Isfahan III at the start of the Horus Heresy. And some of them didn't die, spoilers, but it's been a long time. You know, your heroes, the Gavial Loken, Sol Tarvitz, Nathaniel Garrow, those didn't actually hit. He was in the Isfahan system, okay? He got his leg blown off. What can you do? He was resting. Ancient Rylanor, and also Khan and Lucius. But they were the loyal, most loyal of the loyal, and so I'm very interested in being a loyalist at heart, flowing down that plug hole. Thanks for helping being a mental health warrior. Thanks. It's really odd that I am, but I'm sorry to hear that you've had it bad. But one of the things I've learned in the last couple of years, for anyone who's listening, it's okay to say that you're not okay. This wasn't this wasn't okay a generation or so ago, but it is okay now. The loyalists in Isfahan 3 weren't given a choice. They were. Lucius was given a choice. Many of them, some of them, by their actions. I mean, Gavial Loken literally was saying no, and he could have joined the lodge. It wasn't about the guys on Isfahan 3. Who asked this question? This is completely stupid. Weren't offered a choice, right? Loyalist Emperor's children, Ozzy. Well, the loyalists on Isfahan 3 weren't given a choice. You, sir, you're looking at it too narrowly, sir. Okay, you got to wind yourself back a bit. The loyalists on Isfahan 3 were on Isfahan 3 because they were loyal, and it wasn't a coin, that one. It isn't right or wrong on Isfahan 3. It's the choices that you make and the choices that they make as living, breathing characters got them to be loyalists in the Choral City on Isfahan 3. And each of the characters that we follow in the first 3 books, you can see the choices they have to make. I mean, Solomon fights along Lucius, just killing some of his own loyalist brothers because of Lucius. It's just brilliant stuff going on there. So Ozzy, smiley face, you know what I mean. The loyalists on Isfahan V were given a choice, obviously not on Isfahan 3, except a couple. The reason that they were there was because they had made a choice already. And Horus, who, remember, isn't just the best gladiator of all time, the greatest swordsman of all time, the greatest tactical genius of all time, bar his brothers, of course, is also Einstein, is also Stephen Hawking, is also supremely intelligent, and he knew it too. He knew they'd already made their choice. On the curve, there's probably an error margin of 0.1, 0.2, or 1 or 2%, but he's willing to pay that price. Anyway, back on track, because this is supposed to be over in an hour. Come on, get with me. Okay, you got that, Ozzy? I want to hear your reply to my message. Anyway, you sent me a message, Ozzy. This is how this works. With community, we're talking to each other. Thanks for jumping in and putting me down that rant. Look, you don't. So thank you for that, Ozzy. But come on, hit me back, unless I scared him off. Did I scare you off? Hopefully I didn't scare you off. Join the become a member. Let's have more conversations like this. Yeah, so she caught me working. I did that, and I said that when Thundercats are on the loose. And I said I wanted to talk about a new thingy, which I've set up there, which is why I'm a bit late. And I'll show you that. And, it's a teaser. It's at the end, but it isn't. It's a tiny thing. It's just a tiny thing. I haven't bought a whole new army. It's a tiny thing. I've only got a tiny thing to show you. It's not massive. I'm 5'8", for God's sake. And then I said, I'm trying to think of something clever to say. +1 internet point if you oh no, help me by writing a question below. And so I got 42 answers from people, and about 20 of these actually, because of the internet, Aussie, have you answered yet? I'm on my best behaviour, sir, henceforth. Thank you, Aussie, for provoking me. Love you, buddy. And out of these 40 odd replies, 20 of them are worth reading. It's the internet, you know what I mean? I mean, half of you, some of you are probably in here who made a comment, and of all of you that are in here that made a comment, half of you, it's half of you didn't try, okay? Half of you didn't try. You didn't plumb hard enough. You need to plumb my brain hard enough. Then someone said, Christian Copang. Are you here, Christian Copang? Hands up if you are. Christian Copang said, 2 questions. Which Loyalist primarch should be the one to return to 40k? And I stopped there. And I thought, which Loyalist primarch should be the one to return to 40k is a bit of a loaded question, isn't it? That implies morality, implies a certain thing should come back and others it shouldn't come back, and that's too myopic, that's too small. I have prediction. Can't you see? Are you here, Christian? I don't think he's here. So maybe he'll be watching this later on, and I have a prediction about what I think the future of 40k will be like, and I want to talk about it with you. So hi. And also in the future, by the way, great and wonderful community. People who are live with me now, thank you for coming along. And the 1,000 or so people who watch this after we're not live, thank you for coming along. Thank you for being a subscriber, a supporter. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, all that sort of charlatan stuff that people say. Pray to the machine spirit, put on the charlatan hat, and the thing. No, I'm doing the charlatan hat, which is smash the like button, hit subscribe, do all that sort of stuff, like they all say all the time. Honestly. Those of you that are just passing by, hi, I appreciate you. You probably watched an advert, and that gives me like half a pence. So thank you. You help pay for my mortgage. To all those who subscribe, you've definitely helped pay a little bit of the mortgage. To all those who are members, support me in the deployment zone, and have thrown money at me, or bought me something, or came along to an event, and there'll be a couple of you in here that have, or have actually filmed with me and come all this way, and even more so made a campaign with me. Thank you. This is a group thing. This is a group hug. So I hate doing the charlatan thing, because everyone jumps in wherever you want to jump in. So I won't talk about that anymore. Well, I might, because it's me. So where are we talking about? Yes, and the reason why I'm thinking about these things, Christian asked a question, and I think this video, 2 things I need from you. One of you, after this video is done, timestamp this moment when I actually start talking about the thing I want to talk about, and then I'll pin it at the top with a comment like, this is where Winters actually gets on topic. Because the second thing I want to ask all of you who are here, who are going to watch this in the future, is when someone asks, what's Winters' prediction? When someone asks the question, what primarch do you think should come next, or is going to come next, or what do you think is going to happen in the future, or what, just point them to this, because I will answer that. And it'll cover it all, trust. And the second thing you can point to people in, one of the things that comes up quite a lot is people ask, well, how did you get into this? Where did you start? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to cover that too. Okay? So that's your job number 2, and that's everyone's job. When people who are for the loyal 300 who follow me through the next, who've been for 5 years or even 5 months, but will be here for the next 30 years, the loyal 500, or 30,000 years until we meet the Emperor, which will be 28,000 years. So we have to live about that length of, no, it was 35. 35 minus the 2 that we've already done, 33,000 years. 33,000 years? Math? Someone's telling me. That's when we meet him, so we'll go in cryostasis, we'll wake up around then, we'll be superhuman. Warriors will take over the galaxy together. So those of you that are around that length of time, when someone asks, how did he get into it and what's it all about, then you can point to this video as well. Okay, got that? We got thumbs up. Yes? Looking forward to the DZ Open Day. Dominic Benson, thank you very much. So am I. I'll see you there. Monkeys put the Wild West Open in the deployment zone as well. That will be on the 8th of October. The Wild West. Be happy. £3. Thank you for your donation. Love you so much. Happy to have caught you live for once. A fave. Oh, Well, I'm happy to catch you live too, because here we are talking to each other. So yes, the Wild West Open is actually the most oversubscribed DZ event that we did. It's one day in Cardiff or Swansea. I don't know. It's either Cardiff or Swansea. You need your passport to get there. Probably someone's in the chat that can tell you. And that's a one-day event, and I'll be going to that. And one of the prizes will be to pay me, but I haven't told Monkey that yet. Not pay me, play me, sorry. Because he did a big raffle last time. And so one of the things we're going to raffle off is me for a game. Because I can't play everyone at the event. So someone gets the dubious honor of winning me. All greased up with just a bow tie. Where were we? Cardiff. It's in Cardiff. It's on the 8th of October. If you want to come along to that one, then join us in the deployment zone. We'll probably... Monkey, if you're... Mikey P's here. Mikey P, tell Monkey and Brap to stick that up in the Winters SEO Discord as well, if he doesn't mind. And then everyone who's in both Discords can get a ticket to it. Or one or the other Discord can get a ticket to it. But it was the most oversubscribed. What we do in it is what Monkey does in it with his lovely team. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mikey P. Is what he does is we ask everyone in the Discord what's your level of player power beforehand. So those who'd never played or only played a couple of games, and people who are willing to teach them and help them through the games, we match them up together. And then all the people in the middle match them up together, and all the people who are bringing 1,500 point lists. I think it's 1, 2 or 3 games. I think it's 3 games. It might only be 2. I think it's only 2 games, 1,500 points. But people at the topper end who want to smash it, we put them together, and they have a game, have lunch, have a game. There's a raffle, and we come home again. And it's quite cheap, and it's Cardiff, and it's Cardiff. You need a passport to jump over the border, and they all speak funny over there, but they can really sing. They like rugby, and they're really nice people. Remind me a lot of the Canadians. Too nice. Aussie, thank you for your donation. 2 weeks to Mechanicum book. Excited. Part of my NDA is not saying whether or not I even have got things. So I'm not saying anything about my NDA regarding the Mechanicum book. I'm not saying whether I have it or whether I don't have it. I'm not saying anything at all. But when you say 2 weeks to Mechanicum book excited, what I really hear you say, Aussie, is Mechanicum book excited, because those are the main things. I mean, if it was a year to Mechanicum book, I'd be excited because there's a Mechanicum book coming out. If it was a week or a day, or even if you said Mechanicum book previously released, the big red one, excited, it's such a good book, I would say yes. I would say I'm so frothingly excited I could basically explode right now. That's how excited I am. American Bully, Greco Bully, Camper, Love You Winters. Is that really your username? American Bully? Don't be a bully. Don't be a bully. Be a good person. There's way too many of the bad. So what are we talking about? Yes, someone asked a question. An hour. Stick to an hour. I didn't do my chat. Damn it. For my dogs. Oh, it's for your dog. Love You Winters. It's a line for your dog. Right, okay. Chat, remember, American Bully is a type of dog breed? Really? Okay. Then it, by all means, if it's a breed of dog, then it should be a bully, because it is one. And I'm sure it's a lovely dog. I don't do dogs. I like pussy. So, cat. Yes, so first up, guys, the people who come here all the time. Mikey P, other people, Sorcerer Dave is in the chat. Some other names that I think Hugo Merchant's in the chat. Stuart McFadden's in the chat. Guys, come on, you've got to keep me on track. I'm supposed to put a timer. When we do these live streams, you need to remind me to put the timer down. Try and stick to an hour, because no one wants to watch retrospectively a live stream that took 2 hours or something like that. I mean, you could put it on in the background, like when you're painting away, like a podcast, or maybe one of Luton's things. And by the way, if you haven't seen Luton's most recent thing, The False Emperor, the Emperor of Man is a false god. It's outstanding. You need to listen to it. I need to talk to that man because I've got... Sometimes when I listen to Luton's things, I almost want to do rebuttals to him. Because, not that I rebut our Lord and Saviour, the Law Master himself, Luton, but because there's bits that... It's almost like philosophy. It's almost like debating a scientific theory with that man, because his levels of understanding of 40k are so specific, like mine are so specific, like true law masters, because I'm only second in the world to Luton, as you know, that it really comes down to which side of the mountain that you're looking at. Like, I'm looking at this thing and he's looking at the same thing, but he's looking at it from a slightly different perspective. But it's the same thing, and I want to show him a bit of my perspective. But anyway, what were we talking about? Yes, so you need to keep me on track. And stopwatch, I didn't do it, regulars. So next time when I'm on next week, tell me, Winters, don't go off on your mad rambles, though I know that some of you quite like it. Okay? And at least try and stick to a script. And one of the things, well, not script, but thought. But creative people, we wander, don't we? I'm sure you're all like this. Well, maybe not all, but and if all of you are, whoa, humanity is fucked. But if some of you are like this, we're creative people. We see more. We want more. We don't like everything in its place. We want to see what's behind the place a bit. And all of us want to see different sides of the mountain, or at least some part of the mountain. Where are we? So started now, the alas. Yes, so remember, stop watching the future. Guys, I want to see it spam next time and the time after that. Second thing is we're now back on track. So whoever agreed, remember, you've got two jobs. One is to tell people to point them in this direction when they want to see predictions. My prediction for 40k. And the second thing, and also my hobby journey in 40k. So I need the person who's agreed. Thumbs up, please. Thumbs up in the chat if you've agreed. To pin in the thing beforehand, Winter's hobby prediction for 40k. Which I'll answer this guy's question about the Primarch. And also someone else pin Winter's hobby journey in the chat. Because I'm not just going to give you my hobby prediction. Because if Sarah Disco Dolly, who I love, and I'm so glad you're here, gave me her prediction, or if Killer Kriegsman, or if Sorcerer Dave, or if Fennec, thumbs up, who's agreeing on pinning stuff, by the way. If you all gave me your prediction, I'd go, that's a nice prediction. But if you told me your journey and the foundation it took you to get to that prediction, then there's a foundation, there's a journey, there's a weight there. And yeah, so I want to give it some welly. Love you too, Winters. Love you, Sarah. I want to kick this one out of the park. So, and I'm going to fail to do that, but with your help pinning it. So thumbs up. We've got someone who's thumbs up. Thank you. I've got one thumb up. Killer Kriegsman. Thank you. Well, this is how it works, by the way. This is why people agree to come round and play 40k with me, or do a campaign with me, or join a Discord, or come to an event with me, or make thumbnails for me. It's because I basically ask. Mikey P's a thumb up as well. Right, okay. Lee Shaw's a thumb up as well. We have multiple volunteers between us. Gabriel Brando, thank you so much. Remember, your task is to pin This is Winter's Journey, and pin This is Winter's Prediction of 40k. And we are, and that's why I put my hobby journey on the thing, because I didn't want to put my hobby journey in my hobby prediction. It's just, I don't know what title to put in. And someone else, by the way, smiley face for people who will tell me to put the goddamn Emperor Damn stopwatch on at the start screens, so it isn't 2032 before I even jump into this thing. And I love you for asking all the questions and things. Where are we? I predict the World Eaters are out. It's guard's turn. See you looking again, Fennec. It's too myopic, Fennec. Just like Ozzy before you. You're falling into the same trap. I'm talking bigger. Ozzy. They all do that because you're legend winners. Ozzy, talk to Fennec here. Come on. You remember what happened. Tell him. So Sanguinary Guard is here. Smiley face. Good. So we have at least one volunteer for the stopwatch that I need to start At streams, I've got a message. And I'll try and get on the right time next time. Live on YouTube. Who is? Oh, I am. Look, it's me. Make sure your notifications are turned on. That's a thing as well. Hi, Winters. What's your hobby journey? Thanks for asking that question, Adam Welsh. I'm glad you ask. Shall we begin? Hugo Merchant, £20. Thank you, Hugo. You're a legend. I've met this man, by the way. He is an absolute hobby god. He loves this journey. And I know because he's around my age, he's been on a similar journey to me. And my prediction includes Ferris Manus, Hugo. I have a story to tell about him as well. So strap yourself in. That's my prediction, sorry. My prediction includes him. And we'll start with my hobby journey. Has everyone got brandy, cigar, settle back? Is this egotistic of me enough? Oh, and guys, jump on the... Look, we've got the Selenishi body. Sanguinary Guard. I'm going to make... Oh, God, I can't... Where are you? I think I deleted a thing. No. Sanguinary Guard. That one? Have I just made you a moderator? Add moderator. I don't know who the other moderator it was that I made, but because he said smiley face, got another smiley face in there. Warsmith Chris, pint of whiskey, good. Warsmith Chris, we're about to start my hobby journey. Set back. Sanguinary Guard, you may be a moderator now. I think that's what that blue thing means next to your name, that thing. So when we get like bots, if you click on the buttons on the right, you can like remove them and put them in a timeout if they, you know, say inappropriate shizzle. You have these powers until you're dead or until I find someone better. Name that movie. Name that movie, guys. Any more smiley faces? We have Be Happy. Steve, you got black tea, smiley face. Otto SG, you've all volunteered for something. If you don't know what you volunteered for, go back and check the thing. I shall recline with a pint and enjoy the tale of winter. Starship Troopers, yeah. You'll be my corporal until you're dead, until I find someone better. So there you go, Sanguinary Guard. Welcome to the moderator club. Please don't fuck it up. Okay, so my hobby journey started with in 1984, which, as a number of you all know, is a couple of years before Warhammer 40k. And it started off with things like when I was even younger then. When I was like, how was I in 84? 11? So, but it started before that when I was 6, 7, 8, when I liked fantasy, and 9, 10, 11 really started reading. There wasn't much fantasy back then. There was Lord of the Rings and some other stuff. Other bits here and there. David Gemmell hadn't started writing them. You didn't have the Belgariad series. You didn't have any of the Dragonlance series. You didn't have... I think you might have started to have Terry Brooks. But there was Choose Your Own Fantasy, Choose Your Own Adventure series. And that's good for a 6, 7, 8-year-old to get into. And then things started popping out in magazines and shops and things. And I first noticed it, and the reason why I got 1984 in my head is because that's the year when we got back from Hong Kong. And so in the newsstands and things, there was White Dwarfs, and there were other... What first drew me in was... and I've been reading fantasy, because there was no... And again, sci-fi back then was... You were so young, you didn't know what Aliens was, even though it had come out by then. You had seen Watch Close Encounters. There was a bit of Star Trek on telly. Star Trek, yay. And Star Wars, obviously. But Empire Strikes Back hadn't even come... No, Return of the Jedi had just come out that year, I think, or 83. It was around then. I remember watching the shit out of that. And so I got into, through... Choose Your Own Adventure books and magazines and White Dwarf, and then there was a shop down the end of the street with some models in it, got into it that way, and got into Warhammer Fantasy, which answers one of the questions that someone actually asked, and bought lead models and did all sorts of wonderful things with them, and painted and did Warhammer Fantasy roleplay and other role plays, things like that. 86 40k comes out, And 40k with the plastic sprues and their plastic bits was another system in amongst Cthulhu, in amongst Warhammer Fantasy and Fantasy Roleplay, in and amongst Rogue Warrior, which I got, and Chainsaw Warrior, which I got, and Dark Future, which I got, and D&D, which we tried, but we quickly went to a semi-systemless role-playing system, which kept me going for about 20 years. And no one played first edition, and people played versions of. And now I'm here with this audience. I've asked many people, did you play first edition? And I've never found someone who played only first edition, even, or pure first edition, even Say Hi Paul, which has not stopped. Say Hi Paul YouTube channel, check it out. Awesome. You think I'm a hobby gamer. You think I know narrative. You think I collect. He is my Jedi Master. I am but his Padawan. He never stopped and went at it harder. I mean, the guy's got, I think he's got every Orc clan, and like 20 Orc Space Marine chapters. He's got every traitor chapter. And then the Xenos. And I mentioned every Orc clan. Yeah. Even he didn't play pure form Rogue Trader. People always played versions of Rogue Trader because it was Rogue Trader. And anyone, because you can pick up the book now from, I think it's only available in Warhammer World. Someone let me know in the comments. Tell other people, can you also find it in their web store now? Can you buy Rogue Trader? I mean, I challenge any of you to try and play it. I played second edition. Yeah, a lot of people got into it. Second edition dropped. And second edition was a convoluted version of first edition with some crazy shenanigans going on all over the place. And not very many people played that. And Epic came out and Space Hulk came out. So I started playing them because they were easier while collecting 40k and dabbling in 40k. I remember played a lot of Titanicus, OG Titanicus, a lot of Epic. I even convinced one of my girlfriends back then to pick up an Epic Orc army. And we played that off and on for a couple of years. What an OG. Getting, back in the 80s, getting your girlfriend to get a Warhammer 40k army. But then it wasn't Warhammer 40k like it is now. It was another game system along with role-playing and fantasy books. And there wasn't video games back then. You remember, this is prior Sega Mega Drive. The Sonic the Hedgehog. This is Doom era. This is before Doom. There wasn't very many ways. There was no internet. There wasn't very many ways that you could, if you were fantasy, sci-fi orientated, to find itches, ways to scratch that itch. There were some, but without an internet. So, yeah. And I dabbled and I played and I floated around the edges. And I played lots of other systems and lots of role-playing and lots of Epic and Talisman and lots of Talisman. And Space Hulk, dabbled with 40k as a collector more than anything. And then in 4th edition, Forge World. It had been around for about a year or so. And it wasn't shouted about. And I remember finding Forge World and going, oh my God. And the first time you see a Titan, a Thunderhawk, this is what the hobby is becoming now. You can play with that. I was talking to my mate Alex earlier on, and that's one of the things that got him back. Like, I remember, I think it was me, because he was a guard player back in the day, and then he bumped into me. He's one of the original SEOs, so, well, it was 5th edition, so how long ago was that? Someone in the chat, 5th edition. And he was like, yeah, I played a bit of this, played with that. And he saw the Titan, and he was like, what the hell is that? And I said, mate, you haven't seen this? And the first thing I did was, I didn't go to the Games Workshop website to show him, hey, here's Games Workshop, and this is what the guard looked like now. I went to the Forge World website and said, have you seen this shit? And he was like, whoa, I'm in. So no one answered when 4th edition was. But it's a couple of years after Forge World started. So it's like, right, okay, we're going deep. And my friends started getting into it, and I started getting into it. And it was the big stuff that drove us into the hobby. And I'm sure for many of you, it's the big stuff, right? I mean, we're all collectors. We're all hobbyists. And at some point in your life, you saw something and went, whoa. And I bet you it was something big. I mean, you've seen armies and you might have seen a display and it might have been a diorama, but what was the big thing that turned you from that into this? Was it the first time? I don't care if it was the first time, actually. Just tell me, what was the big thing? You know what I mean when you thought, whoa, this hobby is now something else. Not Gretchen, Steve. Sven, Manthi. Come on. So what was the big thing? Because it might have been Magnus, it might have been Mortarion, it might have been a couple of land raiders on a battlefield, it might have been a video game where you saw a cutscene and it was something really big, like a whole planet. It might have been the big cardboard cutout Space Marine outside of a Games Workshop store, in Shadow Sword, Imperial Class Titan, the Silent King video taser tractor piece, the Gene Stealer, said Lord Cypher, and Just Paul Nurglings Go Away. There's a big thing. I mean, some of us obviously got into the hobby by looking at just the grand spectacle of it, but I bet there was a first time when you saw something and you thought, wow. And the other thing, actually, is it could have been a book. It could have been a moment. It could have been... I've spoken to people who got into the hobby through Black Library. And it was just the scale of it was bigger sci-fi than anything else that came before. And if it didn't pull you in because it wasn't just a big thing... And this, again, for me, I was in it. I was in it for years and years and years and years and years and years. But this was like a tipping point. This is a stage 2 for launch, okay? You've got the rocket strapped to the side of things and you're in orbit already, actually. You've blown the rockets. You're in orbit. You got your armies. You played for a long time. You go. And we're talking about going to the next level. It could be Tau stuff, big Tau thingy, Scott Barlow. Yeah, you turn around, you see a store, you see a Storm Surge, you see some Richard's Thunderhawk, Lord of the Rings magazine, the Balrog, Schmorg now, Games Day 1995, just overwhelmed at all the nerds. First WoW launcher was Grimaldus fan made thing on YouTube. Yeah, it could have been Astartes, it could have been Grimaldus. It was, what the hell am I watching? For me, it was a massive images of Titans, which you got to remember, by the time I'd seen Titans, I'd been in the hobby since before the hobby, and I'd played the OG Adeptus Titanicus with the little ones. I'd seen was it Armor Cast? Someone did like big lead size castings of the other ones. They were doing the rounds for a while. Greg and Eisenhorst series, just the scale of the universe. Sven, Matthew, how does that pull you in? The original Stegodon by Liam. Good evening, everyone. And Chris, jump with the final Liberation game. Yeah, exactly. And the nice Lancer. So I got to a point and I saw a big thing. And I think that most of us, Aussie, thank you for your donation. Again, legend. White Dwarf article W129, launch of the Craft World Elder was my wow moment. Perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect wow moment. You're in the hobby. You're rolling with it. Also, White Dwarf 1929. You're looking late 80s, early 90s, probably late 80s there. Wow, you've been around for a while. Round of applause for Aussie in the chat. OG. I've run out of water. Oh no, I've got a little bit there. I'm supposed to wrap this up in 30 minutes. So, yeah, wow moments drag us in, pull us in bigger than perhaps we were in it before, for a lot of us, maybe not all of us. Good to see you live streaming again, McMachine. Thank you for your donation. Good. And yes, the plan is to do this every Monday, unless I can't. Unless I really don't want to for some reason. But I like connecting with you guys and telling you and talking about where I am and what's going on. Oh, I should mention that. I was in Poland last week. It was great. And I finished 16 warriors. Great. I'm up to 110 warriors now. I'm never going to do any more warriors. That was the hobby I've done. I'm doing now some... I never had 3,000 points worth of Cybernetica 30k stuff. It's just under 3,000 points. And there's a certain book coming out in a couple of weeks' time. And there's a couple of units. I always wanted to add some more Castellax. I only ever have 4 Castellax. And I love my cybernetic stuff. So I've added another unit of Castellax. And that'll get my army up to, I hope, because beforehand it was about 2,500. With add-ons, this will get it to closer to 3,000 or over 3,000. I don't honestly know. And then I can add some more stuff here or there. So that's what I've been working on over here. And you can pick up your Castellax? Are they Castellax? Tell me if it's Castellax. Dim McCarran 3 years ago. We're on to a new subject now, Dominic Benson. Castellax, I think. The robots, you know, the automatons, them. Yeah, so them. Why are we talking about that? Yeah, get them on Forge World. Forge World. Go and see Forge World. Why they don't tie in Forge World with Games Workshop as soon as possible. One more thing about Forge World while we're going off the tangent. Remember, I'm going to ask you again, chat, in the future. I'm on my hobby journey. We're on big stuff, okay? Big stuff back then. So remind me we're on big stuff back then. But yeah, one of the things I'm thinking about Forge World, it should be integrated completely with Games Workshop now. And one of the things I've noticed over on Castellax, thank you, Kirill, Castellax. I got another unit of them because I only had 4, get more. Forge World, Games Workshop, get all the big stuff on that front page, unify it, make it as glorious as possible, because Chapter Master Valrak has been screaming about, wouldn't it be awesome if there was just a big plastic fell blade? Why don't they launch that as part of the Horus Heresy series? And yes, he's so got it on there. 50% of players collect Space Marines. It's around half or more. And if, whether it's Horus Heresy or now, and if you could buy, it's like 270 or 280 pounds for a fell blade. If they launch that in plastic for 100 quid, 110 quid, let's push it. Let's put it 120 quid. But you're going to sell so many of them. Launch a plastic fell blade and the variants, you know, like the Bane Blade tank you get the Bane Blade Super Heavy for the guard. However much money that is. Someone tell me how much money that is. I think it's about 100 quid. It might be 110, it might be 90, but it's about 100 quid. And you can build 3 or 4 variants out of it. If they launched a plastic fell blade and you could do 3 or 4 variants out of it, instead of spending 270 quid or 280 quid on it, and they launched it for the same amount of money, around about £100, they're going to sell a crap ton of them in Heresy and a crap ton of them in 40k. I'll have 2. I'll have 1 for my Heresy army and 1 for the 13th. Because it will be the first super heavy plastic Space Marine tank that you can get. Anyone out there who's got a Space Marine army who could buy a plastic super heavy Space Marine tank is gonna get it, and stick it in a Lord of War slot and stick it in the damn codex. And do that it's already in the 30k codex, so jobs are good, and bang, slop it in there. They're going to sell thousands of them. People are going to buy 2 of them, particularly if there's the different variants. And it's 100 quid. Space Marines have been around forever. For plus 30 years now, 86, 96, 06, 196, 06, 106, 30 plus years. And they finally released the world's first plastic Space Marine super heavy battle tank. Who isn't buying that shit? Otto SG, thank you for your donation in funny money. I don't know what kind of money that is, but it looks high. So thank you very much for your donation. I very much appreciate it. Had given up on the hobby for a long time. You are my wow moment. So thank you, witness. Otto, man. Thanks. Well, it's the wow that I'm feeling percolating through me and flushing out over the screen all over you. 90 quid. So there you go. 90 quid fell blade plastic. How many people would get one? You can do polls. Create a poll. Would you get one? No, god damn it. Would you get plastic fell blade? And then it's yes, no, ask your community. God, yeah. There we go. So would you get, and we'll let that run for a bit. But yeah, imagine a plastic, super heavy Space Marine tank that hits on threes with a 2-up save and Power of the Machine Spirit on it. Tim Chaser gifted 5 memberships. You're my first gifted subs this evening. Thank you so much, Tim Chaser. Make sure if you're in the chat that you've got accept gifted memberships. It'll flash up to you every now and then. I watch some people on YouTube. I remember when I first watched it and I thought, what the hell's that? And I ignored it and ignored it and ignored it until someone explained to me that you need to press yes to that. So if you're in the chat and you don't have that turned on, you won't be gifted a membership. And I don't know what level you gifted the memberships at because it doesn't tell me. But at level 3, at level 2 you get in the Discord, and level 3 you could get the extra videos as well. We've got the Silver Cage in there and the Bell Tolls Part 1, all the campaigns coming in. Anyway, round of applause for Tim Chaser. Thank you very much. We'll get back to the... Have we finished the Fellblade thing? Let's run that for a bit longer. At the moment, only a few minutes in, only 883. We've got like, yeah, 3/4 of you would buy a plastic Fellblade. 90 quid for a plastic super heavy tank. Come on now. Come on now. I would just get that. Anyway, so my hobby journey, right? Members 7 months. Aaron, thank you so much. 3 plastic Fellblades for 30k Iron Warriors. Why wouldn't you? Of course you would. You'd buy 3 of them for the same price of 1 right now. So you'd get 3. And they would look so good on the table, that wow moment that people see, and they're like, oh, your little nephew sees it, and it's like, what is that? And you're like, that is my Fellblade Super Heavy Battalion Iron Warriors, mate. Let me tell you about 30k. Let me tell you about this, the God Emperor of mankind. Everything's bigger. God Emperor, God machines. That's why we love 40k. It's sci-fi dialed up to 11. If you want to travel to the other side of the galaxy, you don't go through warp drive, not faster than light travel. You literally fly through hell. There's demons there, and if the bubble around your ship like a soap bubble collapses, you're sucked into hell. Ever watched Event Horizon? The guy who originally wrote Event Horizon was inspired by Warhammer 40k. Mods, hit that Slaneshi bot chat demon that jumped in. Thank you very much. He was literally, it's in the, he was inspired by Warhammer 40k. And that's the inspiration behind the genesis, the inception moment for Event Horizon. Kill it with fire. I was there when the Emperor died. No. I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. And imagine if Dan Abnett starts off the last book with, I was there the day Horus slew... No, the Emperor slew Horus. Fantastic. Right, so end poll. Was it? Henry Val hadn't got the link yet. I don't know what you're talking about. End poll. So yeah, over 100 people, 116 people would buy one. So yeah, so let's say it's over half. So over half of our sample. So let's, because it's like 70% there, right? In our sample, but across the YouTube sphere, if half or even a quarter of people bought the Fellblade, that's, I don't know, 100,000 Fellblades. How many people have Space Marines? Just print money. Games Workshop, just burn that. Make it happen. Seriously. Anyway, my prediction. Where were we? Back to my hobby journey. Right, I was talking about big stuff. I actually wrote this down because I know how bad I am. Literally 5 sentences. Where were we? So pin this. So we need to cut that bit out, right? The pinners. Are you still there? We're going to pin the bit with my hobby journey. I got sidetracked there. Someone asked some questions and said some things. So big stuff. And then when I saw the big stuff and I saw the Reaver Titan and the bits and because the idea is that you're pinning stuff. So in the future, remember, you can nod people back to this one, like when you're around, because you're part of the 300 in 25,000 years time. When someone asks, what's this hobby journey? You can point them to this. And then I can update this in the future. I covered that at the beginning. If you weren't at the beginning, go back and watch that. Stop distracting me. I need to stay the course. I can't complain. I have 6 Titans and a 16-point. Good. I'm glad you're talking to amongst yourself. Wolf Boot Chronicles, by the way, great blog. That's Stylus. He is in the Silver Cage, available for members and on DZ. My new campaign. I don't even Frodo took this long on his journey. Yes, stay on track. Stay on target. Stay on target. Big stuff. And that's what really got me back into 40k in a big way. playing amongst my friends, tournaments in 5th and 6th edition. Started a YouTube channel, and then while this journey was going on, we moved from Doom and Sonic the Hedgehog to the first GTA top-down and Quake 1 and 2. And then the PlayStation was born. And then the Xbox was born with Halo and Master Chief, who, for those of you heretics in this chat who have not played Halo 1, 2 and 3, leave now. We're currently at 203 viewers. I want you to leave now and immediately play Halo 1, 2 and 3. Leave now and play it, because you're not true Warhammer 40k fans. Because the Master Chief is a genetically engineered super soldier from the future in power armor with an iron halo, which and killing Xenos, which are attacking Earth. You have to watch it. You have to play it. Okay, so Ice Pick Gaming, bye guys, is leaving. Good. Go and play Halo. That's Warhammer 40. Okay, homework for you guys. For everyone who hasn't watched it, here's homework, which you don't have to read a book. You'll have fun. Event Horizon, Halo. Okay, I'll be asking next week someone in the chat. Okay, we're in this together, remember? Here we are again. I need a thumbs up again for someone who reminds me of this next week. We're going to ask how many people played Halo who hadn't or started it, and how many people have now watched Event Horizon who hadn't before. Okay, I need a thumbs up for that. Someone who's going to be in the chat next week, and you need to keep asking me that question and spamming me that question until I ask that question, because you guys need to see it. And I want to ask you a question about your experience in playing as a genetically engineered super soldier from the future, killing Xenos with an iron halo, and he's even got power swords in it. Yeah, and I want to talk to you about Event Horizon. In fact, that could be the subject of next week's chat, because we haven't hit the subject of today's chat, which is my prediction of which Primarch is going to come back, which is bigger than that. Thumbs up, people who've got Sanguinary Guard again. See, I knew I made you a good mod. You're a perfect mod. Kushchev TV, thank you. Halo 3. Inquisitive Vex, I played Halo 3. It was pants. You need to play Halo 1, 2 and 3. Single player campaign. Turn it on. Stick it in your Xbox. Not in Xbox. You can download the Master Chief Collection now and play Halo 1, 2 and 3. And on your laptop, on your thing, on your... I don't know where the hell you can play it these days. But basically get an Xbox or a PC. Play it from the beginning. And imagine yourself to be a Space Marine fighting for the Imperium of Man. Stick that in your brain. Have a cold shower beforehand. Read a bit of Dan Abnett. Play a little bit of something or other beforehand. Some Space Marine 1. Get it into your brain that you are a genetically engineered super soldier defending. Read The Master of Mankind from Aaron Dempsey Bowden. Walk amongst the footsteps. So, homework project number 3. Read The Master of Mankind by ADB. Imagine yourself to be an Adeptus Custodes. Put on the armor. Go and fight Xenos. Start at number 1. Don't tell me it's not good. Inquisitive Vex. Pretending to be a Space Marine is the best part of Halo. Exactly. So why didn't you like number 3? Where are we? What were we talking about? Guys, where was I? Because that was a side track. We're supposed to keep on track. It's supposed to be an hour. I'm coming up to an hour already. What were we talking about? Play Doom and be a Blood Angel having a bad day. Yeah, exactly. Doom guy. Absolutely fantastic. Where was I? Primarchs. Was I? 2 minutes left. Sorry, I think we might overrun. I did warn you, anyone. And if you're tuning in now, watching this after the thing, make sure you have a brandy or a whiskey or some hobnobs. Primarchs. So big stuff now. Primarchs 40. Yeah, and then I got into it. So I got into it, and I think we got up to my YouTube channel, and here I am. Because the internet changed, and you had Lord of the Rings and video games. Yes, that was it. Video games. And the world just expanded. So I got from a place where The best fantasy I could read was David Gemmell or some of the Dragonlance saga. The best sci-fi, honestly, the very best sci-fi that you could experience on TV was Star Trek and Space Above and Beyond. And I got to a world where started a YouTube channel and Lord of the Rings just blew everyone out of the water, and the MCU had started the wow moment of the first Iron Man. I mean, part of the reason why the MCU was so damn good at the start, we're not talking even Infinity War and Endgame, which, let's face it, Infinity War Endgame is this generation's Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi moment. That's this generation's that, or it's this generation's Matrix 1, 2 and 3. Just it's this generation's Lord of the Rings. What was I talking about? Yeah, so I went from those David Gemmell, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Cthulhu, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, D&D, to Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, MCU. I mean, I remember bad superhero movies. You remember bad superhero movies. Now, bad superhero movies are so rare. Well, not so rare, but bad superhero movies. It's expected now that your superhero movie is good. The Batman was good. The new Captain, what is he? Not Captain. Doctor Strange in the Universe of Madness, terrible. The last Spider-Man movie with the three of them in it, pretty good. They're expected to be good, and when they're not good, everyone shits on them because they're not good. And they deserve to be shit on because they're really not good. But the bad ones, I mean, the bad ones back in the early MCU were like Thor, the Dark Realm thing, the one with the Loki. I mean, that was pretty bad, but it was still good. I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp was pretty bad, but it was still good. You know what I mean? So, back before, the only good superhero movies really was the Batman trilogy, and that came out a bit later, and the X-Men trilogy, and that certainly came out much later, after I was watching Spider-Man when I was younger, getting hauled up the side of buildings with a big rope on him because it wasn't CGI, because it was properly invented in Terminator 2 or The Abyss. James Cameron in The Abyss. What are we talking about? So it went from that to there, to the start of my YouTube channel. And you can see the rest, you know the journey. And here I am. So that's my hobby journey. It isn't that 40k expanded. It isn't that there was Rogue Trader and then there's now. The whole landscape and the whole world around 40k, the whole air that us gamers and geeks and nerds and outcasts and rogues and the heroes and imaginative, incredible people, that this community of people who have those wow moments. I mean, there's many people out there that see an Imperator class Titan, or saw that image in White Dwarf that you saw, or read that page in that book that you've read. There's plenty of people out there who've shared that experience and had a similar experience, who've seen those things that you've seen, or been immersed in that story, who have watched that particular film and not gone wow. There's plenty of people who've watched a battle report and gone, huh? There's plenty of people who've been exposed to the same thing that you were exposed of, but we are of the stuff that goes, wow, what is that? I want more of that in my life. And that's why we're here. Most of us. There's always... But I think we see further, we see deeper, we like the wow. We like that guy is a space marine from the future and he's been possessed by a demon, and that's bloody cool. What's going on there? That is a god engine, is it? Oh, right. And it's the size of a city block. Oh, right. And it has these shields and it's impervious and you can drop nukes on it. And most of the time it's okay, particularly if it's one of these really big ones. By the way, they fly around the galaxy in cities that look like Gothic cathedrals, and they can destroy planets, and it's called Exterminatus. And there's trillions of humans out there, and it's grim and it's dark and no one's having a great time. And you go, wow. Oh, let me tell you about this species that is going to eat the entire galaxy. And there's hell and there's demons in it. And if you stray off the path even a little bit, then you could literally fall into hell and getting tickled by Slanesh with the tickly slick for an eternity. And no one wants to be tickled by Slanesh's little tickly stick for eternity. Squirrel Knob, Primarch, stay on targets. Thank you. Thank you for your donation. Stay on target. Stay on target. Hugo Merchant, next Primarch to return to 40k, 8-month tier 3 member, you legend. Thank you. See, we're there now. You guys, I've been doing this for a couple of months now. You're getting used to that. This is a collaborative effort. I think I might have said that in some of the earlier ones. I need help. I asked for help. Some people say thumbs up. Some people do this. Keep me on target. So, my hobby journey in 40k isn't someone who started 40k and is at this point in 40k. It isn't a journey through a forest. It isn't I got on a plane and now I'm over here. It isn't a journey where I've learnt about motorsport and then in 2 years' time I know a lot about motorsport. It's this and that. My journey with 40k is the whole world in which I was experiencing was changing around me at the same time. There was no 40k and now there is 40k. There was no sci-fi and now we're saturated by sci-fi. There is no fantasy. Now there is fantasy all over the place. There isn't. You couldn't be a geek. Now you are a glorious, imaginative, thoughtful, maybe not thoughtful, but creative, because I'm not very thoughtful. Creative, expressive, embracing person, the person who sees that thing and goes, I want some of that in my world. And beforehand, that was a tiny, tiny meal. And now it's big. Kill the Slaneshi demon. So thank you for gifting, Stugs. That's my hobby journey. That's my hobby journey. So now, and then I started a YouTube channel, and you know the story because we're in year 8. I think towards the end of August, it'll be the start of year 9. And oh, how it's changed. And if you want the story of my hobby journey from the start of YouTube to now, that's already documented. You can go and watch that. Maybe someone will give you a synopsis. He thinks he can tell stories. He thought he would tell some stories because he saw other people doing stories and filming battle reports on the internet. And he's immersed in the stories and he loves the journey. He wanted to share some of the stories that he made with his gaming group, with a wider community. And then he added dice rolling to it and it kept going. And here we are. And thank you. It's a group effort. But I just had to keep going. So pin that, ship that. That's pretty good. That's my hobby journey. Okay, we've done my hobby journey. And it's 1:15. Almost 1:15. Yeah, right? We get that? Any questions on that? Winters want to tell stories, only needs a platform to say, don't keep yourself. Corey Dunning. I'm trying to make... See, I'm not trying to gatekeep myself. That's a good question. Welcome to 13th Tier 3 Biblical Nipple. Thank you for joining in. I believe you're only the first member of the chat. I think. You might be the second. Apologies to anyone who already became a member. But Tier 3, you'll get access to the additional videos and my Discord. And there's not a lot in there right now. So you'll be one of the first. But yeah, I'm not gatekeeping myself. What I'm trying to do is... I'm conscious of trying to entertain. because I watch YouTube and I'm entertained by YouTube. And I'm conscious that content creators are also entertaining. If we didn't find them entertaining, we wouldn't watch them. And I like entertaining. I like making people happy. I like making people laugh. And I think back from when I played people in 40k and back when I did a lot of role playing, I've always been able to make some people. I mean, I did a lot of role playing. I was the GM most of the time and was able to pull people into my world. And when I was much younger, I was an absolute arsehole, as I'm sure many of us were, but I was a tragic arsehole. And I was very narcissistic. And I apologize to anyone who might be watching this for when I was in my teens and 20s. Just, I mean, Arrested Development, I don't know. I guess I spent too much time in another place dreaming that it took me a long time to realize how much I was hurting other people. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I started entertaining more, doing more role play, more stuff. I guess it was one of my propulsions away from the kind of person I was then. We all try and be better, I think. One of the things that helped me during my depression was the notion of better. Now, I couldn't see a way I could ever make myself better. I only saw worse and worse and worse in myself and in everyone around me. The worst. And there was no sense that anything I could ever do. But the one thing I did retain was so close to my wife. I love her so much that I could see that I was making her life. I could sometimes see. I mean, when you're lost. But I eventually got the message. Eventually realized just how much I was making her life worse. And that gives you a sense of, I mean, many of you don't have to suffer depression to understand that there might be someone out there that you could help make their life a little bit better. You could, and you don't have to. See, I couldn't start doing anything. It's falling apart, breaking down, stopping. Movement forward was impossible. But I could stop. I was really good at stopping things. So maybe you out there as well can find a way where you can stop something that might be making someone's life worse. And I stopped so hard at trying to it would destroy her when I couldn't get out of bed. It would destroy her when I couldn't talk properly. It would so there were some things I could stop that meant that she didn't hurt as much, and that was better. And it took me the journey to find out just how much it was hurting, and it took me the journey to find out how to equate worse with better. And it took me some time walking that road until I realized that it was better, that I was actually not doing something or trying not to do things. And it made the world better to someone I could see. And there is almost certainly a way that a number of you out there could do that. And it doesn't cost you anything. There could be something you could do or stop doing that'll make someone's life a little bit better. Complain about something. Maybe sit up straight. One of the things I did as well was, because you read all the self-help books and go into a counsellor and stuff like that. One of the things that, it was a little thing as well, one of the things that I picked up was saying thank you and please, and just trying to be polite in all the maelstrom, in all the horror, just trying to be as polite as you can. That's something you can start doing. And that's what I mean. That's something we can do, that you can do, that anyone can do. Stop doing something that makes someone else's life a bit shitter, and just common courtesy. If someone gives you a cup of tea, say thank you and mean it. Anyway, how the hell did I get here? Yes, so I think I was talking about entertaining. So that's something I held on to and helped pull me up. And I think it can help pull everyone up a bit, which is why I shouted about it. And I think, damn it, what was I talking about? And entertaining and doing things and helping. So I'm not so someone said, stop self-censoring myself. So I'm trying to present something. I'm not self-censoring. I am self-censoring, you're right. But I'm self-censoring because I'm trying to present to the best of my ability, and believe this is the best of my ability, something as entertaining as it can be. And I'm aware that some of you like the rambles all over the place, and some of you will be listening to this, painting with this going around all over the place in the background. And the ones that don't like it turn off. And the ones that don't like it don't subscribe. And the ones that don't like it don't watch it again. And the ones that... Yeah. So there's 200 of you watching. So it seems to be you're my audience. And I like rambling. Who doesn't like rambling? If I put a mic down in front of be happy, I literally love you. I literally love you too. Be happy. I think that's a member symbol. I think that's what that means. So I literally love you too. I mean, because of you, this is happening right now. Literally. So the members, and thank you, Michael Howe, for your donation. Love you too. Donations coming in good tonight. Thank you so much, guys. I'm not doing this for the donos. I'm doing this because of my hobby journeys brought me here. And putting a mic in front of Mike Howe and asking, tell me about your hobby journey, and just letting them talk freely for as long as he wants to. I'm sure it would be a fascinating story as well. So thank you for telling me that I'm a brilliant person. I really don't think I am. An inspiration to many. Sadly, that seems to be true. My bravery is utterly commendable. It's not bravery. I just wanted to I realized I could help make someone's life better, and it was someone I really, really, really cared about and loved and tried. Adam Godfrey, thank you. Thank you for your donation. Love you. Your bat reps have helped you through a dark period. Lockdown COVID was, it was rough for me too, rough for everyone. It was really rough for me. But really rough for everyone. Makes someone's life a little bit better, Adam Godfrey. And then you make the world a little bit better. So yeah, I'm trying to end it. Were you the guy who originally said stop thingy bobbing myself? So I'm trying to entertain. So here we are. So my prediction. Beanbag Crow's Nest Gaming. Thank you for being our second member of the day. Up there it says 7th. So I deeply apologise to everyone who became a member today. You may notice I get a little bit distracted. 7 new members today. Thank you so much. So it's been a journey to get here, and I don't know how old some of you are, but I know the I don't know how old all of you are, but I know the average age of people who watch me on YouTube is like 25 to 35 or something like that. And I've been in the hobby 38 years. So I've probably been in it longer than most people in this chat have been alive. And I'm not saying that as a brag. I'm saying that as when someone asks me, who do I think should be the next Primarch 2 return? My answer to that question is going to be grounded in that foundation of who I am and what it took to get here. Okay? So 420, 35, 37. Inquisitive Effects, 420. B Happy 27, Woodsy 36, Ivy Mac, Hugo Mao 38. Is Hugo, you still in here? You're like 50, aren't you? And there's a few people. Neil Jackson 52, 3 Grots and a Trench Coat 54. We've got some old boys in the chat. Scott Barlow 13. But that's what we want to see, and that's what all you old farts out there want to encourage, and that's ultimately what I'm trying to encourage. I mean, trying to encourage more Scott Barlow, who's only 13, or Aaron 582 Railways, who's a member legend, only 18. Want to encourage as many new blood into this hobby as we can, because we want as many people in this hobby as we can. And there is nothing that I enjoy more than having fun with people, sharing my fun with others, and helping them have fun. Like when you grab children by the ankles and hold them upside down for a bit, they have fun. They have fun for a long, long time. Sometimes the screaming starts. That's normally a time to put them down. But grab children, hold them by the ankles, swing them around a bit. They're having fun. When you stroke a pussy, and the pussy just purrs and headbutts you back again, the pussy's having fun. We're drawn to these free moments. It's addictive. It's meant to be. It's why we're not clawing each other to death anymore. Like 500 years ago, there were people bending, no religion, but this one's dead. So, or politics, bending people backwards over a stone pyramid and using a flint knife to cut out their hearts. This is 500 years ago. Throwing it down the steps and making sure the sun comes up tomorrow. And like hundreds of thousands of these people were sacrificed every day with a flint knife through the rib cage. Yeah. Why was I talking about human sacrifice? Oh, yes. That's how bad we were. We used to go to the arena, Colosseum and some stuff, and watch people hack each other's limbs off. Now it's UFC. Or bear baiting, badger baiting, fox hunting. Maybe I shouldn't say fox hunting. That's too close and it's still legal, so political. But we used to go down to like whatever town you're in the UK or even in the colonies. You'd go down to a place only a couple of generations ago and bring your pit bull along, a pit bull, and throw it in there with the other one. And if you're one ones, you'll make money, go home. Yay. We're not as savage as we used to be. Generally speaking, as a species as a whole, human cannibalism and sacrifice, that's generally gone out of fashion over the last X thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I mean, look at monkeys. Monkeys tear themselves apart. Tim Chaser, gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Tim Chaser. Thank you so much. Yes, that's it. So we've had 2 lots of gifted memberships. And then when I said to the person who was my second member, I was right. Bear baiting is sadly legal in some parts of the colony still. Is it? Really? Well, you see what I mean? It's become, you're not allowed to do, I mean, it's, you know, but we're not eating each other anymore. And why did I get onto this? I don't even know how I get onto this. Something about bringing light into the world or some shit. How did I get onto sacrifice? It was one that made me play Warhammer initially. Now I founded a gaming club here on my third world country. Eliendro Chalco. I got you into it. Apologies to your wallet. Third world country. I don't think there's any really third world countries anymore, is there? It's probably developing and developed. But even the developing world is still developing. And there's definitely some parts of the developed world which are not very developed at all. I mean, have you been to Swindon? Oh dear. Webbed toes. Where was I? Demons. Olivia Newton-John has just died. RIP. Oh, when I was very young. Damn it. And do you remember the flash dance with the... And you're a boy and a teenager with a flash dance with the leggings and the, you know, the ankle warmers when they had the 80s ankle, them. Ooh, cramp. You know, the do it on this, the, you know, the, ah. Oh, and Alex. Ah. Has your feet touched grass today? Where was I? So yeah, Olivia Newton-John. Thank you for your legs. And Olivia Newton-Bomb. Not one of her songs pops into my brain right now. Right, so we're going on to the prediction. Physical, physical, let's get physical. Let me hear your body talk. Body talk, let me hear your body talk. Yeah, that one. She was lovely. Somebody said they were 13. You made a cat joke and then it was Aztec sacrifice. Okay, Magos, thank you for keeping me on track. We work through this together. So 13-year-olds, new blood. That's where I was. Getting new people into it. I was talking about entertaining. Yes, I was answering the question. Stop self-criticizing, self-editing. I'm agreeing with whoever said that an hour ago. I am self-editing with meeting on mutual ground here, but only because I'm trying to make this entertaining. Are we entertained? I don't know. That's probably a good poll to ask. And then we'll go on to my prediction for what I think is going to happen in 40k and answer the Primarch questions and stuff. No, press the thing. Are we entertained? No. Should I stay on track? That's a better question because I'm assuming I stay more on track because I'm assuming the ones that are here are entertained to some degree. Ask your community, should I stay more on track? Did that go up? There it is. Okay. Should I stay more on track? Now, I want honest answers here. Come on. I mean, how? Because I can try and stay more on track. Right. So we'll nail that. Answer me truthfully. I would appreciate it. Because I got a feeling while I'm trying to entertain you that I should try and stay more on track. It's an hour and a half now, and I want to try and keep these streams down to an hour long. People have thumbed up, and I've got help next time. Yes. People who did this, there is no track. Sultan is a lovely man. Monkey's in the trap. Nice to meet you. Nice to see that you're in. Sultan is definitely lovely. Got Winter singing, now I'm happy. We were so close, says Oliver. Samstag, Dave B, yo, Winter's just do you. You're good enough. Or kid. Good enough. I'm good enough. Yeah, so that's what I mean. So we got onto... I'm trying... Yeah. And then... So I'm aware that with this, and with your help with a stopwatch, and with more notes, I can trim this. Dear. And Slanesh Demons are in the chat. Nail it. Come on. Sultan, if you're here, you must convert to the true sons of Sanguinius, says William Begley. Do you realise how many Space Marine armies Sultan has? And he's up to White Scars now, over 1,500 points. He's off next week. We're going to be nailing some of that. He's starting Salamanders. So Salamanders, White Scars, Death Watch, Grey Knights, the Void Walkers, Blood Angels. I'm missing one. Black Templars. That's 7. And I'm still missing one. Oh yeah, his Renegade thing. There's another one. Has he got Ultramarines? He hasn't got Ultramarines. That's 8 chapters of the same faction. That's how much he loves Space Marines. Where are we? Sultan is a top class painter. Yeah. Sultan's a very quick painter that knows all the tricks. He's so fast and he knows all the tricks. And if that is, actually you're right. If your measure is the wow effect, and it is the wow effect for tabletop quality standard, then Sultan is probably the best painter in the world, because he can nail that tabletop standard and better than tabletop standard in the fastest time I've ever possibly seen ever. But top class painter isn't even me. Top class painter is our lovely friends who post all over Instagram. DZTV Winters SEO on Instagram. If you go DZTV in Winters in Instagram, you'll find all the DZTV lot. So DZTV Sultan, DZTV Brap, DZTV Mikey P, DZTV me. And then subscribe, and you get all the pictures in your Instagram. And there's top class painters on there. Sultan is not a top class painter. So on the measure of top class painters, it's a different side of the mountain. Here's the top class painter mountain. And from this side of the mountain, the top class painters are those that win Golden Demon. And then on this version of top class painter is those who have pictures on Instagram and on YouTube, and you look at them and you go, wow. And you look at the eyeball drawn into the wing of Magnus. And then you've got top class painters who do speed painting, tabletop standard stuff with airbrushes and other things. And you go, wow, that's a really quick method. Duncan Rhodes speed painting, some of his stuff is outstanding. Then you've got another flip of the mountain, which is the Monkey and the Sultan top class painters. And it's still a top class painter. It's just another perspective of. So he is, but there's also other different measures. What were we talking about? I asked you to talk about what we're talking about. What we're talking about. I put a thing up here. That's what I did. Should I stay more on track? Yes, 33%. No, 67%. Stay more on track. So about a third of you says stay more on track. Thanks for. I didn't even know how many people answered that probe. Okay, so we've got about a third. Stay more on track, which is why I want to stopwatch it, write like 5 lines of notes, and get you guys 111 votes. 11th votes, which is why I need a group effort. When I go off the rails too much, I was supposed to talk about my hobby journey, which I think I've done, and someone's agreed to pin it at some point. And then what is my prediction for 40k? And I need you spamming this when I go that far left. Okay? Like last time, Hugo jumped in, or someone else, and said, stay on target. Stay on target. So what I'm saying is, if a third of you would like me to stay on target more, then as far as I'm concerned, this is a third of yours fault. You should keep me on target. I need help here. This whole thing didn't start by its own. The YouTube thing wasn't even my idea. She said, why didn't you film some? So I did. The lion is next, I hope. We're definitely not talking about Loyalist. Primarchs, 50, spam, stopwatch spam next week. Now tell us. Primarchs, right. Yes, thank you. Go off target. Lee Shaw, you're not helping with that. Lee Shaw, not go off target. Okay, this is why a third of you, this is why we end up here. So stay the course. Though, stay on target, Dave B. Thank you. Adam Welsh, Inquisitive Vex, Isle of Man flag with a black. No idea. I take full blame. I did the self-gatekeeping thing. Was it you, Corey Dunning? Was it you? So you put an idea like that into my head. Corey, was it really you? Put your hand up, Corey, if it was you. Because otherwise, see, a third of you. Please stay on target. If Corey hadn't jumped in, we would have got this massive long thing. Hand up if it really was you. It was. Okay. So a third of you are really irritated right now. And 2/3 of you love Corey. It's like being on YouTube, Corey. No matter what you do, some people are gonna think that shit. Get on with it. Or that shit, I'm not gonna watch that. Or I don't like that particular YouTube channel. Or I don't agree with that particular opinion. And what we should do as human beings is those people who don't agree with us, we go, okay. And we move on. What was I talking about? Corey is famous now. Yes, you are, Corey. Well done. full exterminatus, and say thank you to Corey for diverging us. And then in the future chat, so another task for everyone who put their hands up and smiley faces later on is please keep me on target. We'll do the last round of hands up before I go on to 40k predictions. I need some people in the chat to volunteer with hands in the air. Corey Dunning anyways primarchs. Yes. Before we get there, this is a joint thing. Hands up everyone in the air to volunteer to keep me on track in future streams. You don't have to be on the next one or the next one, but if you're around, hands up. You'll be my stay on target tribe, okay? We're starting a new thing right now. It's called the Winters SEO Stay on Target Tribe, and it will make a hashtag Stay on Target Forever or Stay on Target Tribe. Stay on, what is that? If you actually write stuff, Stay on Target SOT. We can do that. The acronym isn't Stay on No, it's yes. Stay on target. Okay, hands in the air. Not yes. Okay, that's how I write lists, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. What's in that? Hellblasters, fire strikes, aggressors. There's assault intercessors. Oh, that's a 2,000 point second company. That's how I write lists. So this Battlescribe thing, I've heard of it. I've been forced to use it a few times. That's a behind the scenes thing. Stay on target. Hashtag SOT already. DEFCON C. Did you put your hand in the air though? DEFCON C. You can't go around using hashtag SOT if you're not a member of hashtag SOT. So two things are happening here. Some people are joining the hashtag SOT, which is the Stay on Target tribe. It's the 2 T's. So yes, DEFCON C, if you're joining the hashtag SOT, it's the hashtag double T. So join it first, hands up. Thank you, DEFCON C, hand in the air. Stay on target tribe. So 2 tasks for the Stay on Target tribe, okay? 1, for the first couple of streams, you're going to need to remind me what that means. Because my brain, we've been on a journey together this evening. You might have noticed I tend to go off target. I'll probably forget this within 5 minutes. There's a lot going on up there. The second thing is, so remind me of what we've actually created as a hashtag here. The second thing is you are the Stay on Target tribe. You keep me on target if I'm wandering off too much. Now, we'll use this as a barometer. So when I'm doing live, anyone else, by the way, any more people joining the Stay on Target tribe, your instructions are about to come through for the first time ever. This is how this thing evolves. This is part of my hobby journey. You're joining in my hobby journey. And hands up in the YouTube as well, YouTube comment section, after this video goes out, if you mean to join the Stay on Target tribe, because you might be coming into live streams in the future. So hands up in the chat as well. We have Kushchev TV, he's put his hands up. Dave B has put a rocket. I don't know if that means he's in. We've got Toxic Hobbit UK has put his hands up. Who wants a job? Who wants to join the founding moments of the Stay on Target tribe? You guys will have a job. You will put your hands up and join me in my hobby journey. Sorcerer Dave, brilliant YouTube channel. Check out Sorcerer Dave's YouTube channel. Alish Shaw, I don't know what that means. Avril Barry, hands up. Adam Welsh, 50k a year and I'm in. I wish I earned enough money. Wouldn't it be glorious if I turned around to you, Adam Welsh, and say, yeah, okay, here's the Stay on Target tribe. I want t-shirts done. I want YouTube shorts cut out of this mashup, and say out of every live stream 2 or 3 YouTube shorts came out of it just to fill the short space to get that up there, and I could pay you 50k and we could fill up social media and we could get some things and prints and stuff. Wouldn't it be brilliant if that was your job? I don't earn that much money. I wish I did, because I would pay you 50k and we would do that job. Cape Abra is already here, hands up. Okay, right, so the Stay on Target tribe. Your job going future in the live streams is, when I go off too far on tangent, because we've established this evening that 1/3 of people would like me to stay on target more and 2/3 are happy. You're going to be like a barometer running in the background. I don't know how many people will be here. Next time there might be 5, there might be 10. We might have added another 100 from the YouTube people who have watched afterwards. But the number will grow. The Stay on Target tribe, Hugo Merchant, thank you for joining the Stay on Target tribe. The number will grow over time. And you'll be like a barometer running in the chat. And when I go too far off target, when I start to go off target, I'll see the odd hands up. Slash demons, kill it. Lee Shaw, yeah, hands up, yeah. And then as I see the thumbs, because there's a lot going on here. I should film it from this side from one point of view and show you what's going on here. But there's a lot going on. And I think that basically if more hands turn up and more... Thank you for killing... Have you killed him? Kill the Slanesh demon, please. And Inquisitive Vex, are you you're here all the time. Are you a mod yet? Let's click on you. Inquisitive Vex, you are now becoming a moderator. You are a moderator until you're dead or until I find someone better. Go back to the early part of the... I need you to talk to me in Inquisitive Vex to make sure that you are now modded. Yes, there you are. You've got the blue thing next to your name. So you have now the power to pin comments and remove, hide users, put them in timeout. I think it's a 5-minute timeout, report for any abusive stuff. Shit like that. So you're now a moderator, okay? And like I said, the Starship Troopers reference earlier, you're now on until you're dead or something better. You have the power of Grayskull in Inquisitive Vex. And yeah, or until you turn around to me and say, I don't want the power. But whatever. So the hands up will run in the chat. And when there's more congregations of hands up from the Stay on Target tribe, I know that I will need to stay on target more. So the odd hands up every now and then won't help me stay on target. But when it's a bunch of hands up, then I'll be like, okay, I really need to get back on target. And then in a year's time, when people are coming in and new people haven't even seen this, who don't know what the hell is going on, and they come into the chat and they're talking away and they see more and more of my hands appear, and you'll get someone saying like, commenting like, what do all these hands up mean? And they won't know the secret of the Stay on Target tribe, but you will, and we will grow. And the hands... So for example, right now, I'm really going off target. I want to get to my prediction for 40k. I want to get to my 40k prediction. So Stay on Target tribe, you should be putting hands up all over the place right now, because I'm getting distracted by even my distractions. This is a dry run, and so far we're not doing well together. It's a group thing, guys. It's a group thing. I need your help here. Stay on target. So anyway, what are we talking about? We've got things, stuff. Never going to happen. We've got hands up. There we go. Def got hands up. Get on target. Get on target. Yes. So the Stay on Target tribe are making themselves aware. Thank you for doing your job. Thank you for jumping in. It's an unpaid internship. Okay? Unpaid internship, not 50k. I wish I could. Okay. So pin. Pin goes in. People talking about primarchs. That's what I'm going to talk about. My prediction for Warhammer 40k. It occurs to me at this point that there'll be some people this far in the chat that won't know the stuff that I said before, because my 40k journey, my hobby journey, and that's why I mentioned it that way. It wasn't my 40k journey, it's my hobby journey. My hobby journey is forming the foundation of the answer that I want to give to my prediction for 40k. And it occurs to me that there'll be some people in the chat that I've been talking for so long now that didn't even hear the first part. Games Workshop changed. The landscape changed. MCU, Lord of the Rings, sci-fi all over the place. Video games, Halo, Dead Space, BioShock, Mass Effect, the Horus Heresy book series, YouTube channel after YouTube channel, Astartes, and Warhammer getting its own YouTube channel as well, Games Workshop. They've grown. Originally, Games Workshop was a distribution company. Then it became a model making company and distributed its own products. And it said in its latest annual report that model making is still its core, and they aim to be the best model making company in the world for now and forever. That's their mission statement. But that's not all they are now, because many of us had our wow moments, our boom moments. We saw the big stuff, the glorious stuff. We got involved in the video games or the heresy, and we're in it. And now the IP is worth more than the miniature making side of things. Games Workshop started off by making miniatures. That's how they expanded. And the lore came second. And the greatest thing they ever did was launch the Horus Heresy book series. It gave such a solid foundation, so that where we stand now in 8th and 9th edition, new people coming into the hobby, about a third of people, 23,000 people answered the mini wargaming survey. When did you start 40k? 23,000 people. There was a YouTube poll that came up 2 days ago, and a third of them were in the last 2 years. And that third of people who've started now are standing on the shoulders of giants. There is so much lore, so much history. The Emperor once walked among us. The Primarchs once walked among us. And you can read it and you can get it. And many of us didn't start with that. The IP became so important that it started a multi-selling. A New York Times bestseller. It hit the New York. Many of the books have hit the New York Times best-selling list. You have Dawn of War, you have Space Marine 1, you have the Eisenhorn TV series. The IP became more profitable, became more important than the models, just like Star Wars. Star Wars was a movie. Look at it now. The Horus Heresy series is the absolute foundation upon which the 40k world is based, and it's rich and it's solid, and it's so many people want to know about it that it's a New York Times bestseller, and so many people want to experience that on the tabletop that it relaunched Forge World, and now we have the Horus Heresy plastic launch. The IP, and that's what I've seen, and that's what Games Workshop has seen. They're a miniature producing company, but their IP is so much more valuable that they can set up an entire new miniature range in plastic for the first time. The last time they did this was with AOS, and they had to burn down the old world for it. In this, they didn't burn down anything. They're just going full, they're going hard. And it's building on top, because more and more and more of us had those wow moments. And more and more of us we're in it because the sense of scale, the sense of depth. And that isn't just coming from models, though it used to. And that's where my wow moments came from. Now it comes from all sorts of sources. The Horus Heresy series is so popular that you have this massive relaunch. They've discovered that the most narrative-rich background they have was set 10,000 years before the game that they actually have, and that there's money in them, their hills. And it's bigger, and it's better, and it's cataclysmic, and there's Primarchs in it, and the Emperors in it. So my prediction for 40k is they're all coming back. They're all coming back. We have a rift that has ripped the galaxy in two, and Guilliman is back. And on the other side of the Great Rift, in the Chaos Space Marine Codex, Horus isn't coming out of... Sorry, Abaddon and the Black Legion aren't suddenly raiding things coming out of the Eye of Terror anymore. There isn't 10, 11... There was 13 Great Crusades, Black Crusades. There isn't another one coming. There isn't a 14th Black Crusade coming. All of the Black Crusades were footsteps along the way to get to the 13th Black Crusade and rip the galaxy in half, because on the other half of the galaxy, entire sectors have come out in favour of the War Master, have come out in favour of Abaddon. And not only that, entire sectors, it seems, have been arming and aiming and building and forging and supplying and in favour of the War Master for thousands of years. And the Emperor's children have empires out. We're getting a 40k now. The surface of 40k right now is this. In the south, there are good guys. And the Angulaman isn't just taking back worlds that were lost. The point of the Indomitus Crusade is also conquer worlds that were never conquered before and expand the Imperium. He didn't launch the Indomitus Crusade saying, oh, there's a great rift, I'm going to try and put it all back together again. Guilliman's a primarch. Guilliman said, I'm not going to try and put it back together again. I'm going to restart my father's project. It is the Indomitus Crusade. We're Primaris Marines. We're unlocking everything from the vault. I'm sanctioning all of this new tech. And if any of the admechs say anything about it, he killed a chunk of that. There's lots of purges that went on. The Watchers of the Throne series by Chris Wright is amazing. You need to read it. It's a new crusade. The Indomitus Crusade. Like his father before him, he will retake and conquer the stars anew and expand the Imperium in ways that had never been expanded before. But in the north, there are empires now of Black Legion, of Emperor's Children in particular. And of course, there's Dante up there. And Guilliman did not bow to him and would not bow to him. And Dante is commander of the north, and he will cross the Rubicon. And we will get a Dante Primarch model. And they might supersize him. I mean, I think they should Dante... Something went wrong during the crossing of the Rubicon, and he becomes Mephiston Dante. Not Mephiston and Dante, but Mephiston is he beat the rage, and that's why he's so OG. He's the only one that did it. Well, let's say Dante beats the rage as he crosses the Rubicon. You can make Dante OG. But Dante's coming, and he's up there in the north, and there's empires. There's a light versus dark. There's a good versus bad. And depending on which side of the mountain you see things from, one of them's good and one of them's bad and one of them's bad and one of them's good. Because the Horus Heresy series is the most fertile ground they ever sowed. And it's got Primarchs in it, and it's got Titans in it, and it's got big things in it. The Primarchs are coming back. We know Angron's coming back. We know that they're going to be working on the Noise Marines, Slaneshi guys, Fulgrim's boys. What are Fulgrim's boys called? Damn it. It is the Emperor's Children. We're working on them. We're getting Fulgrim back. We're getting the Primarchs back. The Yellow King in the Pariah novels. Rumours of Constantine or Dawn, which could also be translated as the Emperor, but unlikely, but can be. We're also getting the closing of the Horus Heresy. There will be twists. Did Sanguinius really die? Is the Emperor really on the Golden Throne? In Fury of Magnus, Olivia died on the way, but that certainly wasn't Malcador's intention to have her killed. Malcador didn't kill her, but spoilers, damn it. There was a plan that Malcador had with Olivia to free the Emperor from the Golden Throne. We're getting the conclusion of a story that's been running for 16 years. I mean, that's another thing. In any other genre, intellectual property, who's done this? We have book series in Star Wars and the Rise of the Next Empire, which follows just after the Return of the Jedi, which isn't canon anymore. Forget all the stuff. Read it ages ago. That's no longer canon, but we had series like that, and we have series here and series there. But who's done an Odyssey tying across so many authors across such a long period of time? It is a tour de force of writing and cooperation. We're having them back. There's going to be Titans. There's going to be a new... quite clearly, The Lion is coming back. Quite clearly, Russ will come back. Quite clearly, Games Workshop are going to release them as quickly as they are able to make them with their given content schedule and production release versus how quickly they think will buy them. So Games Workshop need to sort out the base game so that it includes all the fluffy bunnies as well as all the hardcore tournament players as well as competitive play, so that the base game is the base game and there's different mission packs, so you can play it to be competitive or you can play it to be narrative. And the difference in gameplay comes down to the mission packs, not comes down to the base rules. And they need to release Crusades. They will eventually release Crusades, and instead of Prior Nexus, it'll be Crusade when Angron pops up. Maybe not when he originally pops up because Games Workshop. But in the future, we're going to have 6, 7, 8 Heretic Primarchs, 6, 7, 8, 9 Loyal Primarchs, and Crusades tied into them, edition launches tied into them. We're going to get new weapons, we're going to get new races, we're going to get the return. I mean, I can see the return eventually of Horus, of Ferrus Manus. Remember, we think Horus is entirely annihilated, broken in mind. Borean spirit is he. Ferrus Manus. We are going to see the Black Library authors retasked and refueled after a period of time, focusing on writing the Indomitus Crusade. They're going to write the return of Valdor or the Council of Primarchs or something. There is absolutely no reason why they can't leave 40k lore done, closed. Well, they can't. There is absolutely no reason why they can't keep working on the 40k. Sorry, let's restart that. I predict that Warhammer 30k, the Horus Heresy, will be big. It will not outshine 40k, but it will be big, and they will continue to support it with plastic miniatures and rules updates, and people will follow it and people will play it and they'll promote it. Now, I think the Horus Heresy series will be much more popular if the 9th edition base rules and the Horus Heresy base rules were aligned. So if you played Heresy and if you played 40k, the base rules were aligned. And then the things that made them different can be the codexes and the mission packs, but the base rules are aligned. And then you've got all the Horus Heresy, but at the moment we haven't got that. And we'll have 2 sci-fi systems, and they will be the Horus Heresy and they will be 40k, and they will both be supported by plastic. And there'll be 2 fantasy systems. There'll be the Old World and there'll be AOS, and they'll be both supported by plastic. And what they'll do in 40k, because we had those wow moments in 30k. 30k gave us so much wow. The IP was greater. The models always used to propel the IP because they had these models, these books, these video games came about. And now the IP was so great that it propelled a whole new plastic range, which they built off of the resin range. The IP is now propelling what they do. And they know that now. They know. Some of them know. They're getting there. Some of them grew and they know that kids walking into a store see these wow things. And not everyone does, but a chunk of us do. And because we saw the WoW thing, we get into the hobby. Because we saw that table with Tau, Storm Surges and Riptides on. Because we saw that table and it had just a beautiful painted army of something on it. It was just an army. Or because we saw Magnus for the first time. Or because we saw an Imperial Knight for the first time. Or because we saw these big things. The Necrons have the Silent King. The Tyranids have all the big bugs. And they have the Monolith. And they have the Obelisk. Orcs have got their big stompers. Everyone's got their big wowie thing, except for the Space Marines. They need a massive plastic super heavy tank. But what can also be wow for the Space Marines? You can play Lim Russ in 40k, print money. They're print money. You can play Rogel Dawn. He's alive. He's coming back. He's got his own stuff. He unlocks stuff. You print money. They're all coming back. And that's the future of 40k. That's my prediction. Because the IP now it's on a feedback loop. It's not just the models driving the narrative. It's also the narrative driving the models. That's what we've seen. So that's my prediction. Now, how much and when? So now the question is, well, when is it coming? And what should come first? And da-da-da-da. I don't know. I know Angron's coming next, but I know it's all coming. And I know it'll be released over a period of time, and I know they'll test the waters to see how much, how far, how fast, and I know their reaction time for when they fuck up, and they will fuck up, but I know their reaction time will be delayed by a couple of years, because that's how long it takes to change direction for a super heavy company, for a super heavy Titan, for an oil tanker ploughing across the ocean when they've hit something or going the wrong way. It takes them 60 miles to turn left. And that's what a FDSC 100 company is, like Games Workshop, and they wish that they were more athletic and open to feeling the market out more. They wish that all of their rules were only on digital, which would never work. It's a good idea if they could get it all on digital and update it in real time, and it does work, but it's never going to work because it's so complex. But imagine if they get it to 99% that it does, so that takes off a bit. It still wouldn't be an all or nothing, because people like pictures and holding things in their hands, because it's a hobby, because it's collection. People want to collect stuff. That's why when there's stuff where you can't even collect stuff because it's video games, and you can't collect. That's why people get collectibles of that doll, of that Modern Warfare thing, of that that's why the Space Marine McFarlane toy sell. People, we're hobbyists. We're collectors. We want to collect. So there'll be a market for the books, and they should fill that market. It's all coming back. We'll find out who the Yellow King is. The Lion's coming next, if I had to say so. I don't know which Loyalist primarch would come out after that. They would absolutely blow people away if after Angron, let's say the Lion, because we know where he is, by the way. We don't really... Gulliman came back because we knew where he was. We don't know where the Khan is. He's in the Webway. We don't know where Lim Russ is. He's in the Eye of Terror. What's that anymore? Vulcan never dies. But we do know where the Lion is, and we did know where Gulliman is. So he's coming next, and we're going to get Khan and Space Wolf helmets, by the way. That Space Wolf helmet, sidetrack with the thing with the wolf. Space Wolves are not wolves. We don't want wolf helmets. There are no wolves on Fenris, said the Primarch of the Space Wolves. Mantis Warriors has got nothing to do with praying mantises. Salamanders have got nothing to do with the salamander, apart from they live in hot places. You don't want the wolf. Okay. There are no wolves on Fenris. So that's my prediction for Warhammer 40k. We're getting... because that's why dwarves had to come, squats had to come, because they're going to play around with the AI thing. One thing I thought about was those dwarf berserkers, disappointing. First close combat berserkers, again, dwarf berserkers, Chthonian dwarf berserkers. Why? you have a whole new species, the Leagues of Votan. Okay, here's our new species. Here's our trike. They're cool. Here's our ATV. That's cool. Here's the guys in power armors. They look really cool. What do your close combat stuff looks like? They had a choice to do anything. You could have made anything. It could have been, they have AI. Imagine if the first close combat units that we saw from the Leagues of Votan were toughness 5 with 4 wounds. So there were chonky AI things that looked like Hulkbuster. 40k Hulkbuster, make it 40k, like, okay, these are our kinsmen and these are our close. You want close combat troops? You have, for the price of a Screamer Killer or for the price of a Dreadnought, you get 2 of these things. And they're like chonky, they're like Obliterator size. But that's what they send into close combat because you don't want to fight them. They could have done anything, but they made berserkers. I thought it was disappointing. Now the guy with the 2 fists looks cool. Basically, I didn't look at the model and go, wow. Wow. Imagine if we saw some steampunk-esque, Hulkbuster-esque, bad AI with chain blades running to you with some speed with a couple of guns over the shoulder, and it was called Chthonian Berserkers, and you looked at it and thought, wow, that looks like a 30k version of the Hulk and the Hulkbuster in a steampunk thing with laser beams and freaking eyeballs coming out, and wow, they come in units of 2. And they can take on a Dreadnought because they're 60, 70 points each. Give them no guns. Just make them saucy. That would be tier. That would be top tier. And I think the Chthonian Berserkers are basically mid-tier. Sub-tier. They're pretty sub-tier when you had the whole of the dartboard to throw ideas into. That's what I thought of them. Hands up! Yes! The stay on target tribe are putting hands in the air. This is working. I told you we'd do it together. Thank you, Avery Barrel, and thank you, Khrushchev TV. Thank you. So yeah, there we go. We went on the thing. The barometer, I see 3. So thank you for being members of the SOT. You're making this, you're on TV, sort of, and you're making the TV a better place. So that was my hobby journey, and that's my prediction for 40k. Now I think what we could talk about next week is, okay, let's just talk about 40k. So let's get down into the prediction start, because essentially I named this my hobby journey, and that led me on because I wanted to talk about that. And that led me on to the other thing that I wanted to talk about, which is my predictions for 40k. And so we ended up talking about both because I wanted to talk about both, but I didn't really talk about the second half much. Okay, it's not sod off. It's, what did I say? Did I say sod off? Oliver Samstang, you'll have to explain. Are we talking to other people? I don't know. So next week, I think a good topic would be further predictions for 40k. And I'll put up a thing and we can talk about it and we can ask questions and stuff like that, okay? So when someone asks me a question, essentially back to the very beginning of what do you think who should be the next Primarch? I don't think like that. I think that the product created the IP and now the IP is creating the product. And because the IT is worth more than the product, the more they can use the IP to sell more product, they will. And they are. And the biggest IP that they have right now is the Horus Heresy. And they'll push that. And they'll push the Primarchs and the return of the Primarchs and their dangle, the return of the War Master. I see that happening. Horus, 5 years, 10 years. Horus is coming back. Horus is coming back. The Emperor, they'll dangle that forever and ever. And that'll be their break glass in case of emergency. Horus is coming back. Anyway, do you think 10th edition will be like the Horus Heresy rules? No, I don't. I think 10th edition will be a simplification through the codexes, but I don't... I would like to see the core rules changed in some subtle ways, and I've mentioned it in the past. I'd like to see the codexes shrunk right down. There is a fundamental difference between 30k and 40k right now, and it's not about the structure of the rules, it's about the intent. So 40k is a rule system where rules are intended to counter other rules, like stratagems, like relics, intended to add to or counter other rules. 30k doesn't build that way. 30k rules are built on what models you got, how do I make those models better. If you want this type, 30k asks, what do you want as troops? You can bring them as troops. And then how do you want to play? Okay, this is a way you can play. This is another way you can play. You can bolt these things on and you can play this. And ultimately across in the big books, Legion books, for example, there's 9 legions in the Loyalist one, but there's 99 ways of playing. There's more than that. There's more than 10 ways of playing a legion. There's 20, 30 ways of playing each legion, and each of those ways, and 50% of those ways have got some legit teeth in. Legit teeth. It asks you what way do you want to play. 40k asks you what rules do you want. No, it asks you, it tells you these are the rules that you need to play your army, which 30k does as well, but it tells you how to be good at playing your army. You want these rules with this in it and this in it, and because of this rule you need to counter it with this rule. I mean, we had a good example, perfect example is we had Mortal Wounds. Mortal Wounds you could never ignore, and we've seen a growth of, this is saves to Mortal Wounds. I like the idea of just saves to wounds, regardless if they're mortal or not. You should have feel no pain again, and should be a feel no pain on the 6 up, a 5 up, or 4 up. In 30k they have this feel no pain, and it's got a number next to it, and that's the number that you roll. And there's no difference between mortal. There isn't mortal wounds, and you could do that in 40k. So, for example, you could say this is a 6 up feel no pain to all wounds. This is a 5. Feel no pain 5 would be a 5 up feel no pain to all wounds, and feel no pain 4 would be a 4 feel no pain to all wounds. You don't need to differentiate between mortal wounds and normal wounds, but they have, because you need rules to counter rules. Another good example is you can only take 3 wounds off Ababon on the turn, 4 wounds off Murphy, Howling Mad Murphy, Gazgul Thraka, 3 wounds off a Catan, rules to counter rules, and then stratagems to counter stratagems, and then Armour of Contempt is a rule to counter rules. Oh, look at all these rules that made Space Marine shit. Well, let's bring in Armour of Contempt. Bolted Discipline and Devastator Tactical Assault Doctrine were rules to counter rules, because Space Marines got a bit shit. Data Slate. Balanced Data Slate. Necrons, all vehicles are now core. Data Slate. Thank you, Spaz Wars, for joining the 13th tier 1. I love you. Thank you so much for helping pay for this. Yeah, I don't know how I got into this, but yeah, 40k is a rule system where the rules dictate the way you play the game. Now, you can play narratively, and you can build narrative lists, and you can say sod that and go the way you want to play, but the rules will punish you. It'll hurt against certain lists. There is a definite scale. 30k is not like that. 30k is, how do you want to play with your miniatures? Well, this is how you make that. You like dreadnoughts? This is how you make that dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. You like Terminators? How about a whole army of Terminators and it can get dirty. You want to play Space Wolves outflanking fast? Well, here's how you can do that. Dirty and you just want tanks in any legion, and it can get dirty. And it's model driven. So I'm going. Yeah, I mean, Sorcerer Dave, rules to counter rules in 9th edition in a nutshell. That's why I stopped playing. That's why a lot of people stopped playing. Rules to counter rules. That's what they did wrong. It shouldn't be that way. And there's a difference in rules design that got us here. Anyway, so next time we'll talk about my predictions for 40k, maybe. If you can remind me, because I'll put something up and remind me in the chat. But I have overrun this 1 hour live stream by 1 hour and 15 minutes, and I've got messages, and there's someone telling me off. Oh, Quipster Nerd. Yes, doing a live stream. Yeah. No, I'll answer him, hi. So he'll think, what the hell is that? And then send me again. And then that's in that. And that's that done. So we're finished. We are finished. Thank you for joining me on this wonderful journey. Thank you to all the super chats and to all the new members this evening. Sky, welcome to the 13th tier 3. I look forward to playing you on November the 28th. After you come down to the DZT, one of the DZTV GTs. One of the DZTV GTs, if you're interested in them, then become a DZTV member. If you're interested in GT play, we run one once a month, every month, and you can come along to it by becoming a DZTV member. And then there's other events happening in the deployment zone. If you want to support me individually and you want to come into my Discord and you want to get access to all my campaigns going forward, will also be for members as well as DZTV for now. I don't know where this road is going to take me. And I've got some other ideas as well. We've got some other ideas for content exclusive to YouTube and ways to interact exclusively with YouTube members in the future. I've got some ideas there. Ideas keep growing and going. So Otto SG, thank you for being a member for 7 months. Good stream? Well, to 2/3 of you, it was a good stream. To 1/3, I should have stayed on track more. But I've got the Stay on Track tribe. There's some people even joining now, and they have no idea who the Sock Gang are. But the Sock Gang, you know who you are. And I love you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next stream. Adrian Smart, thank you for being a member for 8 months. Where's TSEO? I saw that. TSEO, you must be one of the original SEOs. Windows, you're always a legend. Great people go through hard time to bring better in life. Keep up the great, good content. Great/good content. Thanks, John. Love you too. So, the Stay on Track tribe. Thank you. You were there the day. You know, like the first time you opened the Horus Heresy, Book 1, Galaxy in Flames. I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. You were here the day the Stay on Track tribe were born. Who knows how long they'll be with me on this journey? Who knows how long and how big we will become an inner tribe on this thing. Oh, Sorcerer Dave, thank you for your donation for cat food. I will make sure I will get P90 a treat for that. I'm writing it down so don't forget. So thank you so much. I will give P90 a lovely treat. There's these fillet things like cat. What are they called? There's like a strip of loin, fish loin. I forget. Anyway, you get it. It's like £2, and it's like raw fish. And God damn, he loves that. He's in that. Anyway, so thank you for, yes, you were there the day the Stay on Track team was born. Tribe. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for all your donations and super chats. I love you all. Oh, I did say, don't go yet. Everyone come back. Everyone come back. Everyone come back. Sup. Yeah, I'm Quipster. 1 minute, mate. Hang about. Right. On the thing, okay? The one thing I said I would do is make an announcement. Right? So on my phone, on this image, I showed you at the very beginning. In the comments, I wrote, damn it, where are you? Help me by writing a question. Oh, yeah. Show off my flashy new thingy. So I'm going to show off my flashy new thingy. Okay? My flashy new thingy. Announcement time. Now, I believe if I press this button, I will share a screen with you. But I need to minimize this screen before I do that one. And you'll see my flashy new thingy. So there was a time when this was my logo. And there was a time even before that when a Reaver Head Titan was my logo. Can anyone see that? Everyone see that? So that was my old logo. And it's currently the logo that's sitting in the membership stream. And then I changed to the DZTV logo. And I still have the DZ. You can see it. Great. Thank you. And I still have the DZTV logo on my hat. I'm still a member of the deployment zone for life. But we now have, or will soon have, my new thingy. My new logo. So it's done, sort of. There's words that need to be in, and we are gonna... No, you don't need to sort. I'm showing you my thingy. Kushtev TV, back. That's my new logo. So we're gonna get merch. We're gonna get some things. We're going professional. This one was made by professional, yo. Okay? So that is my new thing. That's my new thingy. The Winters SEO logo. You'll see it change. If you're a member over the course of this week, you'll see it change on the YouTube channel. And I'll put that back up. No, not that one. 1 minute. I think I don't press screen share. I think I go main screen. Main screen. Am I back? Who made this for you? This guy made this for me. This guy made it for me. So I've shown you my thingy. I told you it was a little thingy, not a very big one. And that logo will start appearing across the things, and then we'll get some merch up. I'm thinking about doing a limited edition pins and having 2 pins here. The DZTV one on my thing. And then, yeah, there's a relaunch coming. And thank you all for joining me on this journey. And thank you for all joining me on this journey this evening. Looking forward to relaunching. And looking forward to relaunching DZTV in the future as well. But first comes my channel. And I hope you like the Winters 2.0. Exactly. I've been reborn. It's been a hard time for all of us, but I am reborn. Right now I am 2 hours and 20 minutes into a 1 hour live stream. So I am going. She's making dinner and it's late. And I'm sorry to keep you up all this late, but I may have got carried away, and in future I'll try and stay on track more. Happy wargaming.